Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. I am his most awesomest KnightTrain, casting this epic duel between the players, and with me, unfortunately as always, is that one guy who won't leave me alone.
The Robo so nice they named him twice. DoubleRobo here casting on Terminus. We have the purple Zerg in the top first, Shodan. And right here at the bottom we have the blue Protoss, Elfi.
All right, very, very cool. Very, very cool. SE, probably my favorite of the Terminuses. You know, if we're talking about the different types of Terminus SI.
Termini, is that?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a PVZ here on this big map. As you can see looking at the map, the natural, very, very easy to take, as well as that third base. The third base does have rocks on it, but 2 gas. And there is no ramp leading into that third base, so while being fairly vulnerable to drops and shenanigans in this far corner, it really is a very good place to take. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a macro game here, purely because those expansions are so easy to take.
Yeah, one thing that's really interesting about this game is the third base that each player chooses to take. I wouldn't be surprised to see mutas here if
Absolutely.
this game gets a little longer from the Zerg player, just because it gives you so much map control, especially because Protoss doesn't really have a good counter to that as far as map control goes. They can definitely do some blink stalkers and get them running around, but all these little arms on the side where there's 3 bases, it's really easy for the Zerg to stealth an expansion over somewhere and protect it with mutas, either from getting scouted or from being there at all. We've got a hatch first coming down by Shodan here. It's going to send a few drones down to meet that probe down there. But you know, one of the things that's tough for a Protoss on this map is really to decide which expansion they're going to take. They can take that third down there. They usually have enough units to break the rocks. That's not usually a problem. But you know, mutas tend to be really tough on this map, especially that third base has a lot of space behind it, literally. So it's really easy for them to fly around, poke in, do some damage to a cannon, fly back out and heal. And they're pretty powerful on this map. But of course, the Zerg has to get up 2 gases pretty fast, and they've got to be able to get to mutas, which is kind of the harder thing here.
Right, and it's worth noting, Shodan pulling a lot of drones to scare out this probe, probably prematurely. He sent in a lot of drones kind of for the transfer before the hatchery was even done, so, you know, I don't particularly think there's anything he's trying to deny in terms of scouting, but if you took all the drones he sent around kind of mindlessly chasing this probe here, that's a fair amount of minerals he could have accumulated. So maybe just a little bit of nerves getting to him. I do believe these are the semifinals of this tournament, so you know, it's been a long day. Could just be nerves getting to him, but just interesting to point out.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point. You know, Zerg especially, because your drones are so valuable, you don't want to do anything that's going to limit your mining time, or that's going to limit your production, especially to get those Zerglings out really fast. So he's now putting on his spawning pool, almost has enough gas to get speed, so he's going to be getting that pretty soon, and his expansion's up as well. But
6
you're right,
Zerglings coming out.
Yeah, so 6 Zerglings on the way. This is actually pretty common. A lot of Zergs have been trying to punish greedy Protosses, but of course you'll see Elfi is not being greedy in this sense. He's putting down 4 gateways. The Zerg took his gas, so it's actually, he really has no choice here but to 4-gate. And Shodan knows that.
Alright, ooh, this Zealot in here, gonna get surrounded by Zerglings. Oh, he just barely make it out. I don't think he's gonna make it.
I don't know, he's got some good micro. He might be able to at least kill a lot of these Zerglings,
Oh,
and that's
very,
really
very
what he wants to do.
Right.
Yeah, he kills 3 of the Zerglings. Elfi was not expecting, I don't think, to see 6. 4 is usually the normal amount of lings, so already he's going to be tipped off here. This Stalker without speed is going to be able to kite these Zerglings forever.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know, Shodan's got to kind of run back a little bit. And Elfi doing some great harassment with this Stalker already. The Zerg's got to know that he's 4-gating. Obviously, he has that gas there. So, you know, both players know what's going on here. So really, this is going to come down to a battle of micro and a battle of economy management here.
Yep, we do see 2 different proxy pylons set up here. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a 4-gate. Those 2 pylons are down, which means the Protoss will be able to reinforce. We have Roach Den coming up. Those Zerglings, I don't think saw the warp in, but they definitely do now. The Zealots kind of running in.
A lot of Zealots. I actually really like that choice. He knows that Roaches aren't going to be out for a little while. Zealots pretty much just tickle a Roach. They don't actually do any damage to it. So
right, and no speed. These Zerglings just getting speed, so they are basically useless. I threw away quite a few trying to snipe that Stalker. I don't think that was really the best idea. He's got a handful of Zerglings out now at the main base, but there are quite a plethora of Protoss units warping in. This is going to take some pretty serious micro. A Spine Crawler would really be good right now. The Protoss coming up in here into the main base, laying down
those pylons. Yeah, and this
three pylons.
This is going to be the game here. Shodan just really doesn't have the economy. He's got a lot of those lings, but
the drones coming out as well.
Elfi being brilliant and you know, bringing in so many zealots, no stalkers at all.
Right.
Putting down a ton of pylons. So I don't know if that's mana or him just making sure that they get down, but when it comes down to it, Elfi really, it was really smart for him to put that pylon on the right side there. He didn't end up having to use it because he was able to get into the main base, but you'll notice that the Zerg player was able to, 2 roaches coming out here now. Elfi's going to wish he had that stalker, but you know, Shodan just doesn't have the economy to keep this up for a long time, whereas Elfi, he's got that full base. He's not even mining gas right now. And he's just going to try and overrun this with Zealots, and to be honest, I think he can do it.
Right. I mean, the Zealots are going to get cleaned up. The number of drones killed hasn't been particularly high, but if you think about all of the drones...
Transfuse on that roach there.
Yeah. All the drones, or all the larvae that had been made into Zerglings, and there it is, the GG. He knew he was done. Very, very good game.
Yeah, I think Elfi probably would have wanted to make a few more Stalkers. He pulled his probes off of gas pretty fast there. And so I think he's kind of wishing he would have kept him on to have a few more Stalkers. I just think he thought that Shodan wasn't going to be able to get any roaches out because he didn't have enough economy for it, but he was able to get some. And like I said, Zealot's so laughably ineffective against a roach, it's not even funny.
Right.
But Elfi was just so far ahead of that game, and we see the gas steal. The extractor is still on Elfi's gas here at the end of the game, so he really just was basically saying, you're going to gas steal, then I'm going to kill you.
Right.
That really, really backfired on Shodan there.
Absolutely.